This time on ChinnyVision, Ocean Cash In with a talking car. And no, I don't mean a maestro with that talking dashboard. Of course, it's Knight Rider starring David Hasselhoff and his amazing talking car, KITT. The license for this was snapped up by Ocean, who were trying to up their game by getting into licensing and bringing TV shows and movies to the computer screens of the nation. We're starting off on the Sinclair Spectrum version. This game costs $7.95 on the Specky. And you can see David Hasselhoff on the loading screen there with KITT, the Pontiac Trans Am, in the background. And you get a rendition of the theme tune on the menu screen. And there are four missions or a random plot where you have to drive around America and thwart terrorists who are going to blow up various things. So we start off on a map there, and I just selected a thing there and it doesn't let me do anything. So basically we can't go inside the missile base, but we're going to drive to Dallas to try and thwart the enemies. And of course driving is what this game is mainly all about. And when you're driving, you can either drive the car along the road, which has some very peculiar angles in it, or you can shoot. So KITT can drive himself, or you can shoot, or vice versa. You can drive the car and KITT will shoot. Apparently KITT's not as good at shooting as you might be, and certainly he's not as good as driving as well, because he won't go the maximum speed. In fact, the autopilot doesn't work very well at all, because if you're standing still and hit the autopilot feature, the car just sits there doing nothing. And it just it's like a cruise control basically. Up to a certain speed, it will just stay at that speed. But if you get up to 240 miles an hour, the maximum speed, if you go auto driving, it just reduces the speed down to 190 or something like that. Yeah, it's the idea is to encourage you to swap between the different modes. The corners are dreadful. Your car sustains damage if you come off the road. And your laser can overheat as well. The things marked scuds on the left aren't referring to Michael Knight's underpants. They are referring to the KITT standard unit distance measurement, which is silly because you're travelling in miles per hour. So we go inside the building, and then we have to get to the bottom left-hand corner of the map. And really, it's just a question of avoiding the guards. You don't have a gun because, of course, you are Michael Knight. Over to the Amstrad CPC has the same tune, and again missions to select from. President, Ambassador, or Missile Base, and that's it. No more descriptive than that. And you can see it's going to be a straight port of the Spectrum version, as you can see from this map. So this time we won't go inside the Missile Base because we know that's no good. You just basically, you can drive to any city you want to. Makes no difference at all. And off we go. So 160 scuds to go. I suppose if you live in a talking car, you're going to have quite a lot of used underpants in the back. And the only enemies that come at the sky are these helicopters, and that's it. And they just shoot missiles or things at you. I'm driving at the moment, but KITT is doing the shooting. KITT manages to predict where the helicopters are before they even appear on the screen. The illusion of movement is just achieved by flashing the road. There's no roadside objects. For a game about a car that does all these amazing things, all you do is drive. That's it. It's boring. It's incredibly boring. When I was playing this earlier, at one stage I just went off to the kitchen, made a cup of tea, came back. It was still driving. I'd lost a bit of energy, but it was still going. So we've arrived at destination, but the talking car has said, "I'm sorry, Michael, I can't see anything here. I think we should be in Chicago." This is the first hint you've got of... So you've done all that driving, and now we're told we're in the wrong place via being given no information. We've got to drive to Chicago instead. So off we go again. More helicopters. Exactly the same boring scenery. Boring, 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 boring. An absolute insult to the people who were fans of this TV show. TV shows all about action cars jumping over other cars, going on their sides, and just exciting things that this amazing talking car could do. This is just a really bad driving game with a bit of shooting. And you can shoot if you want to, or you can drive badly if you want to. And then you get to a destination and you go into a building or not. And you walk around. Right, we're on the Amstrad version going through the warehouse. Now watch the AI. I laughingly call it AI of the guards. Unless you're on the Amstrad version, unless you're directly in the guard's sight, they're not interested. You can be standing next to them. They don't care. And they will give up as well. So he'll see you. You move off to the left. No, he'll shoot at you, but then he'll just going to give up on you. It's absolute rubbish. And these annoying, stupid scrolling messages along the bottom. Michael, you must get to the room on the other side. Other side of what? But be careful. I can't do the stupid car voice. I can sense guards in there. I can see guards, stupid car. Just tell me where to go. Why doesn't the game just flash up where I need to be? Right, Michael, there are several delivery notes because Michael can't read for himself. Michael has to have everything read to him by the car. They are all the delivery notes go to New York. Cable, spelt wrong, clock, nitroglycerin. Michael, someone has sent explosives to New York. Michael Knight must be the world's stupidest man if he's got to have his stupid talking car explain all this rubbish to him. Oh. And off we go again. We've got 54 more game minutes till we lose the will to live. I've lost the will to live. We are 20 scuds away from the destination. Really, this is just so boring. And your damage gets reset when you get to the destination, so you can just take it easy when you drive through. It doesn't matter. You can take all the hits from the enemies. That doesn't matter. What will kill you is if you go seriously off-road, because the damage will eventually build up so bad. But I've been driving along all this time, and I've got no damage, and the laser's not overheating. It's just boring. They didn't re-release this on the Hit Squad, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they did, as far as I can see. Because let's face it, who's going to buy this? So we've arrived at the terrorist base. Hooray. Perhaps we can do something with our amazing car. The amazing car is going to jump over some terrorists. Oh no, we're back in the building. Stupid guard can't see where I am, but that guard can because he's see. Oh, just look at the... What congenital idiot programmed this rubbish? Who? What? How? Did you not realise? I don't care anymore. Oh, I'm dead. I don't care. I'm sorry, Michael. You have failed. I can't just... I hope they shot him to death. I hope the baddie shot Michael Knight to death so I can't go back to Atlanta. Press any key to never play this game again. Over to the C64. Oh, I've got to go to another version of this. Shoot Soviet ambassador, shoot the British Prime Minister, shoot the Vice President, destroy Silicon Valley. So Silicon Valley's a bit view to a kill. Spartacus cracked this game. That was a waste of time, wasn't it? Right. High-res map, same deal. No music, because it's got noise that sounds like an aircraft. And it's exactly the same deal, but the frame rate's even worse. And you go off-road, and you can't actually see where you are, so you've got no bearing where the road actually is. But the rubbish helicopter... By the way, a helicopter like that costs about £2 to £3 million each. So these terrorists are really seriously into getting you. Because, you know, they're flying all these helicopters at you. And at no point is anyone in the, you know, the police or anything like that worried that these terrorists are just flying helicopters around America, firing missiles or bullets or whatever. Damage goes up a bit more on the C64 when you get hit by the helicopters. Oh dear. I just, you know, I think Ocean were actually embarrassed by this game because they never, well, apart from Street Hawk, which may come out afterwards, but Street Hawk and Knight Rider came out at the same time, were both absolutely rubbish, and I think it taught Ocean a lesson about doing really bad conversions of games like this. So we've arrived at the armoury, and it's the same deal. There I am. Pretty hard to distinguish me from the enemies, apart from the fact I'm not just patrolling back and forth. Let's see if the AI is any better. Here else I go. It's like a really crap version of Alien Breed. The top-down view. I have no... No, the enemies can't see me. He turns round. He can't... He actually... There, he's facing me. He was facing... Right, he got me there, but that was my own stupidity. The AI is so bad, they only... Oh my. Just... I mean, literally, you're on top of him, and the AI is so terrible. It's insulting. It's insulting rubbish. There we go, across to the empty room where apparently the car's going to tell Michael, you must get across. And it's going to tell me something's there. Let's play it safe. But he's not going to... I mean, he turns around and faces me. And, I mean, I'm in the empty room. Will the car tell me? I've got to hit the right spot. I've hit the spot. What? Well, I died, apparently. And have I gone back in? It hasn't told... No, I think I completed that. And then it chucked me back outside and I accidentally selected back into the room. Just... Oh, right. I'm just losing the... I'm just going to crash the car. This is absolute insult. I want the terrorists to win. I want the terrorists to win. I mean, I haven't got into that giant kind of poo in the background there that goes across the horizon occasionally that's meant to represent a mountain. Oh, dear. Knight Rider is quite the most insulting cash-in tie-in conversion Ocean ever produced. And it helped change the course of the way Ocean did things. Because after this, they started putting more effort in and doing proper conversions. But this is the kind of shoddy conversion you see US Gold or someone like that do. It's absolutely awful on all the versions. It's like they've watched about 10 minutes of a VHS of the TV show and gone, yeah, that's what that's about, without ever actually engaging what kids watch the show for. The action, the stunts, cool stuff Michael Knight did. You could have driving sections. You wouldn't have to be, not necessarily got a 3D view like that. I say 3D view, goodness me. You could have a 2D top-down view. You could have a behind view. You could do something like WC Le Mans and just supercars or super sprint or anything other than this absolute insulting rubbish. Dear, we can cover the versions. But really, it's like looking at 3 dog poos on the pavement and going, which one's nicest? Which one's the best? They're just rubbish. There's no C64 version's rubbish, Spectrum version's rubbish, Amstrad's version's rubbish. They all play appallingly. None of them are better implemented than the other. It all looks like it's been rushed out the door by someone at Ocean to meet some arbitrary deadline, I don't know, Christmas, something like that. Sinclair user gave this 4 out of 5 stars. You cretins! You dishonest morons! I think your Sinclair gave it something like 30%, something like that, which is slightly generous, but then again, Ocean are advertising with you, so you've got to be a little bit careful. I'd give this game about 5%. If you're going to use the full scale of scores out of 100, this game's absolute tat. There's nothing there. People went out, paid money for this rubbish. I just cannot believe Ocean spent their money on the licence and then pumped out this crap. Don't bother playing with it. It's as insulting today as it was upon release.